Welcome, everyone, to our commentary of the Planet of the Apes. We'll continue with the rebooted trilogy of Planet of the Apes with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Directed by Matt Reeves, released in 2014. Serkis, once again, as Caesar. Years after the Apes, 3 years before Dawn. Not the war. The one. This. I'm here with Jack once again. Like the other commentaries, this is we are just visual for copyright reasons. So if you have the film, then feel free to Blu-ray, press your timestamp on 0, follow along with us. It's going to be Jack, is there anything you want
No.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the commentary of the apes.
Yeah, unless you hate every ape you see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
You'll never make a monkey out of me, Ollie.
Yeah, tell that. Oh, this is going to be fun. Hey, Jack?
Yes.
3, 2,
Or should I say no?
1. Play. Okay. Ooh, 20th Century Fox logo.
Yeah, before it was owned by Disney. God.
God, that's the thing. When we get a next Planet of the Apes movie, it's going to be Disney-fied.
Yeah. Could you imagine fucking Mickey Mouse? Or
Yeah.
Caesar?
That'd be the plot. Mickey Mouse from the dead.
Like when they said in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, if you are the Scottish painter, then I am Mickey Mouse.
How dare he? I have to say, I like the opening for this film. It's Rise. It's basically kind of what you see in the credits of Rise in the start of Dawn.
Yeah.
Well, this time, because this is 10 years after Rise happened in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember watching this in the cinema because this is the first of the reboot films that I saw in the cinema, and I was blown away by this film. I mean, it really was a true cinematic experience.
Yeah. I mean, you just thought it was going to be a load of monkeys jumping around, but...
I mean, when my dad first said, "Oh, you want to see Planet of the Apes?" I wasn't really too fussed about it because, I mean, I'd seen the original and I liked it, but I was never really a huge fan of Planet of the Apes, and this is really the film that got me into the whole Planet of the Apes franchise. I mean, I've reviewed all of them on my channel and I did sketches and stuff, but I mean, you know, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was really the film that got me into the franchise, and for me, this is definitely one of the best Planet of the Apes films. Like, I'd say,
oh yeah,
it's probably my second favorite. Yeah,
yep.
Like I'd say it's, and you know, yeah, and this even eclipses Rise, which is, you know, that's a hard film to beat itself. You know.
Yeah, Rise was amazing. I was better. But this is quite an interesting opening. It's very eerie. That darker film than Rise.
I mean, I go ahead. Sorry.
I say Rise opened with obviously Caesar's mother being taken into the lab, but that was still dramatic. But this is dramatic too. I think that's what I like about this trilogy. It's a very dramatic story.
Yeah, I mean, what's great about this intro is it really just kind of recaps what happened in Rise. I mean, you don't really need to have seen Rise to understand Dawn. I mean, it does help watching it, like you said. But for me, going into this film, I hadn't seen Rise, but I didn't really need to have seen Rise because they explain it in the beginning of the film, which is great. And I do love all the news articles and like how you see the infection virus spreads across the map
I love that
of the world, which is really cool.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That title card.
Yeah.
And I love how we
Yeah.
that we cut to that shot of Caesar, like with his eyes, like that intense close up, and then we just pull back. Look at the technology. I mean, that shot just tells us immediately in 3 years it's got better. How the hell did it look this good? I will never know, but wow. Just wow.
Yeah, and even now, 4 years later, the CGI is still fucking amazing. The motion capture, it looks fucking brilliant. Like, it just looks so good.
What are your thoughts on the Blu-ray so far?
Well, the Blu-ray's great. I kind of expected it to.
Yeah. I think they're amazing. He's got an excellent eye for cinematography. Like, he knows how to light a movie. He knows how to direct a movie. He just knows movies. And I think the way they direct this scene with
It's good, but
yeah, and Caesar and his son are doing all the hunting. It's a very intense to the film, I think. I think showing how the apes have evolved over 10 years. It's incredible. Wow. Immediately you can see now that Caesar has grown up. Sorry, Jack, were you saying something? Oh. They'll run to the defense of Blue Eyes and Caesar. Like Rise in the beginning, their child. It's a nice callback. Whoa, that was a good kill. I mean, Rise was such a drawing us back into the story of Planet of the Apes. This is a very dark that it's the last time Koba will ever save Caesar. We can be sure of that. Well, I don't know where Jack has gone. He seems to have gone very quiet. So I guess I'll just have to carry on. Yeah. Done. Although this film is focusing more on the apes. First film, Rise, we have a lot of humans as well. So it's very much changed from James Franco in order, as well as Caesar. Some Wi-Fi. It's going to be quiet. And also the music score by is brilliant. This theme actually is carried into the next film, War. it's brilliant. I think Michael Giacchino captures the essence of this story brilliantly, and I think his score more than Patrick Doyle's really in kind of enhances the real presence of the apes and their culture. Rise was still good, but it wasn't. I think this is more memorable for me, and I just think this score is so much more emotive, and this is brilliant. Like this scene here, when explaining the ideologies of the apes. This is a callback to the original series in Apes, where they say no ape shall kill ape, ape not kill ape, apes together strong. So the entire philosophy of their society is now being administered by Maurice. So we've seen the apes evolve over, and it's interesting how Caesar. This is incredible, and now beautiful moment, the birth of his youngest son, which is obviously a callback to the Apes series, and I think it's a lovely moment that we get to see, and it's one of the best moments of the trilogy, and the effects are so good and so realistic. I actually do believe these creatures are real. They went out to a jungle and filmed real live apes. I mean, wow! It's just mind blowing how they did all of this. It's a lovely moment in the film. One of the few lovely moments that we get, because the film goes very dark. Hey, he's back!
Can you hear me, Ollie?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Jesus.
Yeah. On the scene where Cornelius has just been born.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a very emotional scene, especially the music and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you notice, the music is similar to War. War is obviously, Michael Giacchino obviously implanted some themes in the next film as well.
Yeah. I think Michael Giacchino is very underrated score composer.
I think he's the next John Williams. I think he's really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, some people complain about his Rogue One soundtrack. I thought it was great. I mean, I don't know if you heard the news, but apparently John Williams is saying that he's going to be done after episode 9. He said 9 films is like a good amount for him. I mean, he is old now. He's like 86.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. It was going to happen. I think, yeah, he's doing right by finishing the trilogy. And after that, I think he's like Star Wars or music in general.
I don't know, but he said he was done with Star Wars after 9 films. I mean, he is like in his 80s now. I think he's 86. Maybe he's a bit younger, but he is an old man now, and he is,
Yeah.
I guess you could say that his days sort of come, if you know what I mean, when it comes to music.
Yeah, he's kind of running out of his ideas, I guess, and he knows that. We are family.
We are family.
Don't remind me of Ice Age 4, please.
We are ham and cheese.
Yeah. Oh, God. I love the characters here. Like, all the Reeves and Caesar, their friendship really just is brilliant to watch.
Yeah.
Over the trilogy.
This may sound a bit weird, but like, do you think the motion capture? Do you think Caesar looks a little bit like Andy Serkis, like in terms of the eyes, if you know what I mean?
I think they have tried to, keep elements of Serkis within Caesar, but just to keep it consistent. But yeah, I don't really know. When we finally see the humans of the film. Oh,
Like when I first saw this scene where the human's scared of the apes and he pulls the gun, it actually made me laugh in the cinema when I was watching it. I kind of let out a little laugh, not too loud, but like at first I kind of laughed at this scene, but then I really got into the film, and I really got into the film afterwards, and like after the scene I really got into it and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
You imagine he's just saying himself, fucking shit.
Yeah. This is the moment when, you know, the film goes down. It's like shit really hits the fan.
Yeah. Shit hits the apes. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've really seen him in any films recently. The last film I saw him in was Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, that was the year after Oh yes, that shot is brilliant. The rock. I always forget the rocket has a son. Ash. Hello? By the way, Jack, I can't actually hear you if you are speaking. What's great as well is that there's a constant in his direction. Like he's always building up the tension of the story. Go! He tells them to fuck off. Go! We hear Caesar speak a bit more in Dawn than he did in Rise, which I think is a nice way of showing how he has evolved. Do 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 do. Now the Golden Gate Bridge. Still pretty much there 10 years later. That's kind of the in terms of the geography of this film, the way that the apes and humans are divided in terms of sectors is over the bridge. The apes are obviously and then the humans are on the other side, on the remain. And here we get introduced to is Dreyfus, who's a much more interesting character than we realise. We think he's the antagonist of the film. That all changes very soon. But I like his character very much. There's a lot of emotion involved in his part. That's the thing with these movies. There's no side is good or bad. It's a survival game. You know, these people.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear. I don't know what's wrong. It's often it seems to cut off, but
I don't know what it is either.
I mean, if it happens again, we'll just try on.
I got Gary Oldman in this. His Darkest Hour.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to say, I mean, I think some of the human characters aren't as good in this film. They're okay. They're serviceable, but they're not. They don't. But it's not. That's not really something that damages the film because the film's about the apes. So
It's about the chimpanzee to chimpanzees.
Gary Oldman's character, they went in effect. They gave him a lot more emotion than I thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the human characters in this are quite good. Like I like Gary Oldman's character, and I think Jason Clarke's character is quite good as well. But I can understand what you mean. Like they're not as developed as the apes, which is surprising
Yeah,
because they're fucking humans. They should be more developed.
yeah. I mean, obviously, Jason Clarke's character, he's quite good. He's a nice. He's just. I mean, there's no good or bad person here. Neither the apes nor the humans are bad or good. It's a survival game. But they can't.
It's the Hunger Games.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, in desperate times, this is. I mean, although this is desperate as well.
Yes.
Do.
These apes, they're fucking apes.
Now we get to see a
Connery
fully
and Brosnan in this.
Oh God, yeah. We have an ape society.
Yes. There's no more monkeying around for them.
It's actually interesting how in this film the apes are more outside, whereas in war they tend to stay inside their camp.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting how Caesar did become the leader, considering the fact when he first came to the zoo, he was kind of the weakling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, as a person.
No!
Oh, wiser. He's had 10 years experience being a leader.
Yeah.
I guess I agree with you.
I'm surprised.
Sorry, no, after you.
I was gonna say, like, I'm surprised the apes didn't get hunted down and killed by the humans in the last 10 years. But yeah, anyway, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Home, family, future. No. We probably were killed, and they've just been hiding out in the woods. So we don't know. There's a lot that's happened in 10 years that isn't necessarily explained. Is left for the audience to kind of divulge. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, Kobe.
Oh no, Jack! You freak me. Jack's having a lot of problems with his Wi-Fi.
But I think even
Yeah, Jack, I can't seem to hear you. There's a connection problem with your Wi-Fi. This is a good scene. This is the first time in this film when, well, all of the apes and all of the humans are really sort of confronting each other, and Caesar is very, very much direct with them. He says, he hands them back he says, go, don't come back, like this, like, stay off on Earth. It's like, we'll leave you alone if you leave us alone. But obviously, one of the humans isn't too wise and doesn't heed his word. So, see, he ends up being the cause of most of the problems in this. And of course, Koba's hatred is a problem too. Apes. War. If we... Andy Serkis is tremendous in this film. He gives such a good performance. I mean, even more so than Rise. I think with each film he gets better. I think that's one thing I've noticed. He gets better each time. Home. Human. Home.
Hey. I'm here.
Yeah. Should we do this another day?
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can. If this keeps happening, should we just reschedule?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. My Wi-Fi's just complete another shit moment. I mean, it says it's working fine. I mean, when you're talking, I can hear you, but it seems to me like you can't hear me for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, every so often you'll just cut off. I know it's not your fault. Yeah, connection error.
So can I ask, do I cut off completely, or is it just like a word you can't hear, and then I'll start talking again, or?
No, you literally, it's like you stop talking and I can't hear you. That's what it's like.
All right, fair enough. Well, hopefully this is. I'll be okay for the rest of the commentary. I mean, if it fucks up like a couple more times or whatever, then we can just reschedule for maybe tomorrow or. Well, I'd say probably best would be some other day during this week.
Yeah. I mean, tomorrow I'm busy, so I'll have to see.
I think Gary Oldman's great in this.
Yeah.
I do. I think that scene is really intense, where so he's just like, apes do not want war.
Yeah.
We fight if we have to. Yeah.
Yeah, like the bag, and he's basically, you can stay off our turf. We live in the woods. You that. Caesar just wants to coexist, with them.
I mean, for me personally, I think Koba is my favorite villain because he is, he has a lot of history with Caesar.
Yeah, and he does cause the war, essentially, ends at the end of the film, and obviously leading into his actions have implications for the next film, which is war for the Planet of the Apes. Whilst the Colonel does cause a lot of problems for Caesar, he brings him down to his lowest low. I think Cargator and all of that.
Yeah. I think Gary Oldman's great, and I think the human characters are good. But I mean, I can understand if you want a bit more fleshing out. I mean, it would have been nice maybe in this film if we found out what happened to James Franco's character from Rise.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think he's dead. It's never explained. But judging by the scene with the video camera, I'd say that he's dead. But who knows?
Imagine if he became an ape. Like,
he would just mutate.
Yeah, mutated into an ape.
Some people...
It's like beneath the pop. it's like beneath the Planet of the Apes, like their mutations.
Oh God. I mean, people have criticised Dawn for the plot about the humans, like they're wanting to turn the power back on, but and then like building the dam or whatever, and it's like, well, okay, but very basic. That's what they do. They're in a desperate. They want to get the power back on. They want to restore the planet to how it was. But I think.
To be honest, I don't understand that. So, sorry to interrupt. I don't understand
Yeah.
that criticism because it's like, yeah, the plot may be a bit basic, but what the fuck do you want? Like flying apes, like Wizard of Oz, like flying monkeys?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but there is still a lot of emotion in this tension that builds from beginning to end. There's a conflict that is so massive building in this film. It all builds, which I think it's an epic Planet of the Apes film.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what makes War so good for me, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, what makes it so good for me is just, like you said, the tension between the humans and the apes. I mean, I think, you really, you feel both sides of the story, both sides, you feel for the apes and you also feel for some of the human characters. Like, they're pretty much at this point the human race is starting to die out. I mean, it won't start to die out really until the next film, but they're basically, they feel jeopardized by the apes. They feel like the apes are going to take over, and that's why there's a lot of tension.
Yeah, I think that's also an interesting thing. This trilogy, there's a regression of and how disintegrates for the apes evolve. And it's sad that the humans kind of suffer because then in war there's only there's all like there's barely any that are still left.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like a reverse evolution thing. Like instead of the humans taking over from the apes, it's the apes taking over from the humans, which is kind of interesting. Yes. I mean, I like this scene where Jason Clarke has the gun and, basically contemplating like if he has to kill, which is, I think is a good scene.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his character would ever do that. I mean, obviously, in the end of the film, he does sort of get the gun out and points it on Gary Oldman. But I don't think he as a character, he feels he'd be capable of killing. But,
Yeah. I mean, I think Matt Reeves just does an excellent job carrying on the series with this film. Because, watching Rise and then watching this, you almost think made by the same director. It's that consistent. It's not like a drastically different tone from Rise. I mean, it is like darker, I will say, than Rise. But, I think Matt Reeves did a really good job, taking on a director's chair with this film. I mean, he really gets the best performances out of everybody. And,
yeah, and that's what
he really yeah. And, I really think, Dawn and then War, I think Dawn and watching War last really made me a fan of him as a director. I think he's one of the best directors out there at the moment, just with the work he's done with these two films. I think it's incredible. Like, we should really see him direct more films, like big budget Hollywood films, because I think he would do a great job. I really think he would do a great job doing a Bond.
And
maybe him to do a Star Wars film, that would be cool as well. I don't know.
That would be good. Yeah, definitely. I think what's interesting about Matt Reeves as a director is that he always puts story and character first, over spectacle. And, he could have easily gone down the route of spectacle. Planet of the Apes could have turned into this big action adventure series, and it would have been...
Michael Bay.
Oh, God, yeah. It would have been so forgettable. But no, he makes it interesting, and people love the films because he keeps the focus on character and drama. And he understood the first movie, Caesar. It was Caesar's story. And they never lost focus of that throughout all three of these films. And I think Trilogy is a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite trilogies, and this film is. It's shot brilliantly. It's lit very well. It's just,
Yeah.
we need more films like this. We really do. I mean, War especially was wow. Oh god.
What's great about War and Dawn and even Rise is that they're movies with intelligence. They're not just big dumb action movies. They're not like, oh yeah, here's some special effects, here's some apes, woo! Like it actually has a
Yes,
story.
you get the effects and the
Yeah. No, but I mean, you're right about the characters. Like that's what I admire about him in his direction is that he focuses on the characters like Gary Oldman's character and like Caesar's character and Jason Clarke's character. He focuses in on the drama, and it's not just apes fighting humans and that's your movie. Like something like Battle for the Planet of the Apes, even though it wasn't really a battle.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, what's great about Dawn is that you really see how the tension escalates. Like, you really see how the tension between the apes and humans comes to a boiling point because, the humans want the power back on, but the apes and the humans sort of disrupt each other.
Yeah. And also Cobra doesn't help either.
Yeah. I mean, I think Koba's a great villain just because of his personal sort of connection to Caesar. I mean, he was there in the first film, and you can understand why. You can understand why Koba hates humans because he was tortured by them and he was experimented on by them. You can understand why he hates them, but at the same time, he's a prick because he shoots Caesar and then he frames it on the humans, and you're just you're watching the film and you're like, you bastard, you prick,
Because he believes Caesar is sentimental towards the humans, which is, in a way you can understand the motivations of that conflict. Caesar just wants to coexist. He doesn't want any bad blood. But Cobra, he just completely loses it. And then even the humans are quite violent here in this film. But I think Cobra is all. This is all Cobra's doing. He really he can't get over what humans did, and Caesar realized that in the start of War. Is like 2 years.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this may sound weird, but I guess you could say in some ways Koba's like he's a little bit like, I don't know, Judas or something. He kind of, he kind of betrays Caesar, kind of like the way Judas betrayed Jesus in a weird kind of way. Like, I mean,
yeah, because Caesar is ape Jesus.
I mean, he is kind of because he is the salvation of the apes. Like,
I mean, this must have been hard for Jason Clarke to act because this is guys in grey suits.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of odd that his career hasn't gone anywhere since Terminator Genesis and this film, because he was in this film and then Terminator Genesis. I haven't really seen him in any other films since then. But yeah. I mean, I really think Andy Serkis deserves the Oscar. I mean, he should have got an Oscar for Dawn. I mean, even War, he should have probably won the Oscar for that. I mean, I just think the Academy just don't really care about motion capture performances, which is a shame. I mean, they should probably just have, like, I saw someone say like they should have a new category at the Oscars, like best motion capture performance. I really think they should do that because if someone's not going to win Best Actor for a motion capture performance, just have Best Motion Capture Performance category at the Oscars. Then I mean, at least give him some kind of recognition. I mean, he's given great performances over the years, like Gollum, and even some of his other roles, like
King Kong.
I mean, you can tell, King Kong. Yeah, I mean, you could tell that he, over the years has just committed so much to he's committed so much to the art of motion capture, and he's done Gollum, King Kong, Planet of the Apes. He did the motion capture for Snoke as well. He's done. I mean, he's so used to it, and and the fact that he gives such great performances, even when he's wearing all that stuff, around him for the motion capture, and even though he's surrounded by CGI, he's still amazing. I mean, his performance always shines through. in any film he's doing.
Yeah, he is an actor who gives everything, and that's very clear on screen, whether it be motion capture or not. But
Yeah,
he's amazing. He's an amazing guy, and he's an amazing actor. And he really did his homework. He studied the physiology of apes and gorillas. It was good actually that he had the King Kong experience before Planet of the Apes, because he already knew that kind of an understanding of gorillas. So that kind of helped him when he did the research for apes. I think that was good.
yeah. I mean, I think the cinematography is so good as well. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah,
just the way it looks, the whole, I just love the look of the Planet of the Apes trilogy. It's just so, visually
stunning.
splendid. Yeah.
Yeah, although Rise definitely looks a bit different to Dawn and War. Obviously, it doesn't look as dark,
Yeah.
desolate, but the cinematography is still great.
Yeah. I mean, War and Dawn, you kind of get more of a dark, black, kind of grayish feel with the whole look of it.
Yeah.
Which I think definitely works with the sort of darker tone.
Yeah, I mean, especially War, because War is very bleak in its look. It doesn't have much light relief. That was reflected in the look of the movie. I think War looks the best.
Yeah. Does Andy Serkis play all the apes in CGI and motion capture, or does someone else play Koba?
Oh, yeah, no, someone else plays Koba. Like they have various actors for the apes. Caesar is only played by Serkis. Serkis doesn't play anyone else in this trilogy. Human work.
In motion capture.
Oh, is he cut off again? Yeah. Caesar trying to convince Koba that Caesar's trying to convince Koba that the humans aren't all bad. Obviously, Koba's just not having any of it. Which is, I mean, from his point of view, you can kind of understand that, really, but
saw things no kid should see and felt like he was back.
Kerry Russell's character, she doesn't particularly do very much in this film. I mean, she's good for what she has. She's, she tries her best. Again, the character's not written particularly. The humans kind of suffer as being underdeveloped, but I'm prepared to let it slide because of Serkis and the apes. It is about the apes.
I can't honestly blame me. Who the hell else am I gonna? Just singing flute. It was a virus created by science.
I really don't like that prick. The guy that hates the apes. He's really an asshole.
Yeah, I was at the toilet. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd lost connection again.
No, I was at the toilet.
Taking an ape.
Yes. I
mean,
shit on every I see, from chimpan shit to chimpan pee.
I mean, that prick guy, the asshole who just hates the apes. I mean, at least he admits it.
Yo, the baseball cap dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck him!
I think this is the thing, though. Despite the fact that, they're both dark movies, Dawn is very different from War. Like, this is a much more, I don't know if I want to say political film. More of a War is more of like a thriller. This is more drama, action, I guess. It's
Yeah.
so, but they just are different. They're just very different films. War is much more of an emotional journey.
Yeah.
And more of a biblical epic.
Yeah. I love the huts, like the look of the huts and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I still
Yeah.
love Michael G.
I was, yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, it is fucking shocking what happens to Caesar's family in the next film. Like, I mean, you can understand why Caesar gets really, angry and upset in the next film, because basically his whole life is destroyed. I mean, his wife and his kid are taken away from him by the general, who's just a fucking prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
there isn't a name for him. I think they just call him the Colonel. Yeah.
Yeah. Of Colonel McCullough.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh.
But this is a great scene. Firstly, for the way it's shot, but secondly, because of what happens in the scene. It's the first time in 10 years when the humans and the apes.
Yeah.
Mm.
The apes on horses, as you said.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah.
I think the war moves more than this film, but this is still a very good build up to the end.
Oh, do you think War's a quicker paced movie?
I would say slightly, yeah. I know some people say it's slow, which I can understand. It is a slow film, but I find this one a little bit slower.
I actually find Dawn quicker, but I prefer War. I mean, I think it's gone pretty well so far. I mean, we're already like 45 minutes or whatever, 40 minutes into the film, so.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm the king of the swingers guy, Jungle VIP.
I think what makes War the best for me as well, because it's also most interesting that it's all focused on the apes. There's barely any humans in the film, and when there are, it's mainly about the Colonel, which is great. But it's all Caesar's story. It's centrally about the apes.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nova comes into it, but like you don't see any other humans until the very end of the film when those soldiers come in to destroy the base, the prison.
Yeah. I mean, Koba. I think Koba looks really, visually he looks really scary, like with the scar down his face and all that. Like, would you agree? Or
yeah, he looks a bit dark and beaten up. He doesn't look like a nice guy.
He doesn't look like a nice ape.
Good monkey. Good monkey.
Could you imagine if Tim Roth came in?
God. No, I wouldn't like to. You son of a...
Your rant on that was really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
How so dumb. Like he pretends to like fuck about and play around with them, and they buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a dark scene as well. Like the fact that he starts pretending, like Kobe is pretending he's dumb, and then later he gets the gun, the machine gun, just shoots him dead. Like it's quite a dark scene, but it's effective if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think he's trying to show as well how much he resents the humans by looking down on them in that way. Like he's basically what he thinks of them by doing that. which is interesting.
Yeah.
Must warn Caesar.
I mean, it's interesting how Koba becomes a dictator in this film. Like, he gets rid of Caesar and then...
Well, just how Koba becomes a dick.
Yeah. No, but it's interesting as well how he, how he becomes a dick. And then he breaks all the rules. Like, he kills one of the apes, and one of the rules that Caesar laid out was ape shall not kill ape, and of course,
fuck that up.
Koba does that. Yeah. I mean, this actor here, this young guy, I've seen him in another film with Michael Fassbender, Slow West. He's quite good in that.
Mm. He doesn't really do anything in this. He doesn't really have any lines. He just kind of stands there. Like, his character's nothing really. Although he does have that scene with Maurice when he's drawing for him. He's showing him the drawings. That's quite nice. Other than that, that guy doesn't do anything.
Yeah. He's just another stupid ape.
Stupid ape.
You imagine Christopher Eccleston, like, just another stupid ape in Planet Apes. Bloody hell. What do you want? A banana monkey? Can you imagine William Hartnell met like Caesar, like, hello, Caesar, my dear boy.
Give it Harry, my boy. Malcolm!
Malcolm in the middle.
Well, he literally is Malcolm in the middle in this film. He's in the middle of the humans and the apes going at each other.
Yeah.
It's a great moment when they finally, things start moving forward. They start to finally get closer to the main power unit, and they can actually turn the power back on.
Get their Wi-Fi working.
Yeah, unlike some. Not your fault. Like how Caesar and Malcolm build up a relationship. Like they start to trust each other towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah. I think also this film and war is that war is Caesar goes on a journey to find and kill the Colonel. This is a movie where the characters stay where they are, but everything that happens within the confines of where they are, which is interesting. And how war deviates from that in the next, well, obviously in the next film, how that deviates is interesting. Oh,
yeah. I was gonna say, the prick guy, the baseball cop. Why does he hate the apes?
I think because of the beginning of the film. He was scared of them, and he just... Little Cornelius is so cute.
Yeah, I mean, the Colonel, what a heartless bastard killing a fucking baby ape. Like, Jesus.
Well, he tries to. He doesn't actually kill Cornelius.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Caesar would have no one in war.
Yeah. Well, he does kill his wife.
Yeah.
I'll kill you.
Cornelius and Zira.
And this is it. This guy has ruined everything now. Now Caesar doesn't trust him. He's like, I said no guns.
I said no bumps. I mean, that's kind of Caesar's catchphrase. No. No!
No. I mean, he's a much different character to how he was in the first film. He's much more serious.
Yeah. your guy's an idiot. Like, why does he take out a shotgun at the apes? Like, they were being friendly with him, and then he does a stupid thing like that.
Yeah. And the trouble is, the apes don't understand that. They don't know that was just him. That's the whole. I guess the whole trilogy is about that. See, relationship with the humans. He kind of doubts them so much, but he also loves them in a way.
Yeah.
Leave now.
I mean, he knows. I mean, he knows how compassionate humans can be, but he also knows how evil some of them can be. I mean, which is an interesting dynamic for his character. Like, he knows two sides to humanity. Kind of like, I mean, it's kind of interesting with his relationship with the apes. Like, when you first see him in Rise and then Dawn, like he kind of thinks that the apes are perfect, and then when he finds out that Koba betrays him, he realizes that apes are flawed as well. That the apes, can be just as bad as the humans.
Exactly. Oh, it's Lake. Oh, didn't know Lake was in Dawn.
Yes.
Lake. Now look after his brother.
I mean, I think this is one of my favorite trilogies. It's up there with the Godfather trilogy, Lord of the Rings, the original Star Wars trilogy. It's just fantastic. I mean, Matt Reeves and Rupert Wyatt have just made a great trilogy.
And I agree with you what you said, commentary. Caesar's character arc. Fuck off.
I mean, for an ape, the fact that he has a character arc that you care about, it's like, wow, I actually care for a
Monkey.
CGI ape character. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine Donkey Kong with Caesar? Like Caesar throwing barrels and chasing Clark.
Where's the car? They call you Donkey. You are ape. He doesn't trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to his wife? Why does she have scars? Like, I
don't know. I mean, I think she's sick. I think maybe because I don't quite know why she's sick. They never.
Oh, they don't. They, well, when they cut you open to get the baby out, they don't cut your arms.
The one with his son, Blue Eyes. He got scarred by the bear in the beginning of the film. One day.
I mean, yeah, the motion capture is just fucking incredible. I mean, it just looks so good. The motion capture, it just looks so amazing.
You know what? They should call it emotion capture. What it is you see the emotion.
Oh, like the fun.
Father, I will not. Go to your room.
Well, imagine the Empire Strikes Back, like, no, I am your father. Instead, it's like, no, I am your father.
No! Yeah. I'm glad that comeuppance. I think he ends up dying somehow.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Koba, he's just, he's completely blinded by the fact that he was, I mean, he just completely hates all the humans because of what happened with him. And like, unlike Caesar, he doesn't see the compassionate side with humans.
No.
Which is like, a shame because he just becomes this, monk.
So, although it's weird because he had his revenge. He killed Jay in the first film, but
yeah.
At the end.
I think he's just driven so much by the hatred of what happened to him that's why he just wants to get rid of all the humans. I mean, to be honest, if I was Caesar, if I was Jason Clarke, I would just say to the baseball cap guy, just get out of here before you do anything like worse. Like, he shouldn't have brought him with him in the first place, the baseball cap dude.
Yeah. so angry. This scene actually shocked me when I first saw it. How intense it was. Cobra and Caesar beat each other up.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing that War and Dawn were the best films of that year. I can't believe War was my favorite film of last year, and the same with Dawn. Like, they both became my favorite films of that year. Like, Dawn of 2014 was my favorite film, and then War was my favorite film of last year.
Yeah. Caesar.
Caesar.
This is where too far. He just can't deal with it. Like Caesar's helping the humans and working with them. It's like he thinks it goes against everything that he stood for.
Yeah.
Attack your sons. Let them stay.
Yeah, I mean, he just attacks that kid for no reason. Like,
Caesar.
We've watched nearly half the movie.
More than apes.
yeah. I mean, I have to say, after Caesar, Maurice is probably my favorite character of the apes.
Maurice.
Yeah.
How he sends more than your sons. That really gets on his nerves.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Like, this is brutal. He's just fucking strangling him.
Yeah.
Oh, all the blood.
I mean, it is a really well-directed scene. I think Matt Reeves just did such a good job with this film. Considering it was a sequel, the fact that he made it even better than Rise is really just a testament to how good he is as a filmmaker.
Yeah. And then Caesar snaps out. I'll not kill Ape. But it's like the tension in these films is incredible. That's what I love about it. Tense. Like, that scene was shocking.
Yeah. One thing I will say, and I suppose I didn't put this in the film, but like, I mean, the fact that the apes are all naked, like, it's interesting you never see, even though like you could see their bodies full well, you never see their bollocks or whatever. I suppose they didn't put that in because, you know, they didn't want to get a higher rating or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. Then again, somebody asked Matt Reeves about that. And he said, well, that was established in Rise, so that was before I had any chance to change. That was, yeah, I guess you're right. That is the reason why they didn't put that in. But I don't really think that's a huge problem.
No, it's not. Caesar's dick's a huge problem. Well, oh, God.
My dick.
Cobra, suck my non-existent dick. Cobra, fuck Caesar.
Again.
I
mean, this isn't really a... Huh? Sorry?
Sorry, go ahead.
A film for kids. It's a film that kind of... It gets you thinking. You think about...
Yeah.
It's a piece of drama. It's not a film that relies on its spectacle. There's a lot end of the film, but Matt Reeves doesn't making those audiences what they, you know, he's not like with War. He didn't go, you know, team versus team slug. He went for the character moments and the drama and the emotional story I loved, and he gave you the action, which I think is, you know, I think that's satisfying enough.
By the way, I'm just gonna mute myself. I'm just gonna get something to eat from the kitchen. It'll only be like a minute or so.
Some poppycorn.
Maybe some bananas.
This is a lovely scene. This is one of my favorite scenes of Dawn, and I like seeing Maurice and this. I think his name's Alex. They share this wonderfully connected moment together, and that oh, and the music is beautiful. Wow. This is a pure example of how, you know, not humanity to survive and for humans and apes to get along, given the chance. But obviously, he is going to be inclined to see it that way. And it also shows the purity of Maurice as a character. Maurice, the in this trilogy, and the boy Alex, he's a very who identifies with him. It's just such a wonderfully connected moment, and I think it was showed that not all humans and apes hate each other. That lovely relationship could happen, and it could actually have a future with humans and apes if they were willing to just, you know, when he on the edge, he just can't deal with it. And now he's just going to start the war. He fucks around with these two guards, where they just treat him like an animal. He obviously fucking around with them, but this this is essentially the war that happens between. Obviously, this will continue in War for the Planet of the Apes, which is the next film. He's intrigued me. I've always loved it the way it starts out kind of fun and playful. It's very dark. When Cobra gets the gun, I don't really Reeves did it this way, because if he just gone in there all guns blazing, he would have known exactly what he was going to do. But that's the thing, you've got to build the tension and to execution, and I think that Matt Reeves did. See there, when he shoots the guy, that just at the snap of your fingers, that just increases so much more tension. He's just so riven with hatred that he doesn't care. And now he's going to finally show. He's going to show Caesar, and he's going to try and get his revenge on. Malcolm!
What is it? What happened?
This is in the film, and they finally turn the power back on. It's a lovely moment. It's a very somber moment. It's played, and it's the moment where you kind of feel there's a sense of peace and a sense of trust among the two races. And Malcolm, especially Malcolm, can be trusted. You know, it's just a wonderfully subtle moment where they turn the power back. I love it. I think it's a lovely moment.
No!
Disagree, you fucker! You just missed the over.
Oh yeah, that's a really intense scene. Yeah.
Well,
Say,
I love this. I love this quiet moment when they turn the power back on.
Yeah. That's a good scene.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if the record they put on was with rings on their fingers and bells on their toes, the girls got the tombstone in their eyes. Oh.
But no, this is Caesar finally realizes that with not, they have, there is hope for us yet.
Did you imagine
Trust
Caesar
them.
dancing? Could you imagine Caesar dancing like Disco Inferno or something when they put the music on? He's like, oh, ooh, 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 ooh.
Apes, do not shake booty. Trust. Out to Malcolm. It's like there is hope.
Shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake my booty.
Yeah. Rick finally gets the arsehole stuck in the van. I'm actually kind of glad that he dies because he's.
Yeah, I mean, Hector's just a complete bastard, basically.
The way Cobra just
kills
appears.
Yeah, it's quite threatening.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from here, like, Cobra, he's only going to go and shoot in a minute.
I mean, yeah. It's interesting that we're only halfway through the film, and that's really when it starts to heat up with, Koba shooting Caesar.
Yeah. This is meant to be but ruins it. Now they see the lights in the distance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Caesar, give us a great big hug. Aww.
Give us a Caesar hug.
I mean, you really feel bad for the apes and the humans because Koba's really the one who, like you said, he starts this whole war. He's the one who really sets this whole thing off.
Yeah. Oh. Isn't it as well? Like moving.
Yeah. In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
I mean, one other thing about actually manipulates Caesar's son, Blue Eye, is he convinces him that the humans have done it. Obviously, Caesar's son, understanding that it was actually Cobra, but the Cobra is that he would actually against him. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I mean, the fact that he kills apes as well, like he breaks the rule. This scene is intense. Yeah. Oh shit!
It died at first.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I actually thought shit is at the end of Caesar. Like.
No.
The thing was as well, humans were nowhere near where
Cobra comes out with a gun, so surely they would think that it was him.
I think they might thought maybe it was a human assassin or a human spy.
Run. Okay, Maurice speaks. And from here, the constant tension.
Yeah. I mean, Cobra, what an arsehole. Fuck you, you bastard.
Yeah. Like, by this point, yeah. He's mad. He's lost it.
They've literally... The monkeys have gone bananas. They've all gone bananas.
Get them.
I love the way this scene is shot with the fire in the background. It just looks so, like, great.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Caesar, Cobra, you bloody Judas.
I love that shot of Cobra and Blue Eyes in front of the fire. It's got the Avenger fire.
Yeah, I think that's a great scene. It's like, I mean, maybe it's symbolism, like the whole thing now has become like a huge, great fire, like, you know, the sort of war between the apes and the humans, it's become like a giant, you know, cascading fire, like an inferno or something like that.
Yeah, and the humans are, those humans are quite right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, in this moment as well, I love. Like we see a different side to Gary Oldman's character. You know, he has a bit of a Christ family. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, the scene where they're all partying, it's kind of like you don't know what the hell's gonna happen to you. You know, this is gonna turn into a full out war.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, great, you've got the power back, but the celebration will be short-lived.
Can you imagine celebration of the apes?
Yeah. He gets out the iPad and he looks at pictures of his sons. Oh, it makes you appreciate his character a lot more because he's not a bad guy. We think he's like a dick, but he's actually a nice guy. He's just desperate. He's just, you know, he's kind of given up really on life, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is a powerful scene with his acting, like where he's breaking down, he's crying. Like, I mean, I'm assuming his family's dead. Like, he's the only survivor.
Yeah.
Like, which is a real shame because, I mean, of course, those are his, like, sons.
I mean,
Gary Old?
You could it's the Apes where you go to the extreme, but he's very clearly a broken man.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to get a cup of tea. Be back in a sec.
This is pretty much the start of the war now. The war has begun. Gary Oldman's character is trying to keep everybody, you know, sane. How Gary Oldman's character is strong, and he's kind of soul. And this speech as well, they put in the trailer for this film. This is a very kind of an apocalyptic feel. As well, the next movie is even more so. Into that here, since this apocalypse, there is no way back. They have literally, it's like apes versus humans. There's nothing else. I mean, this is all Cobra's doing, and I'm sure they are at some point. No pun intended. Again, the amazing build of tension is Matt Reeves closes in on the soldiers and the humans. He really makes sides of the coin here. Like, you care as much about the apes as you, and it's really, really gripping stuff. They're charging for them. The apes on horses. The way that Matt Reeves action, he always goes for the emotional stuff. He always stops emotional battle rather than just for the sake of it. Because you want to care about what's going on. You know, you want to be invested in the characters and what's going on, and that, you know, what apes are, but you really feel what's in the moment. And I love the way that it's edited, the way they slow down, like turn down the sound effects, and then have the music just playing through that sense of struggle throughout, which is really amazing stuff. He sees his son, Blue Eyes. He doesn't know what to do. He's kind of like hiding. You know, seeing the apes die, you know, is another thing for him. And Cobra is just relentless here. There's no stopping the guy now. He said he's completely irredeemable. Everybody else is looking at him like he's mad, which I would say, yeah, he is. Oh, and that young soldier. The action is epic in this film. There's actually slightly more action in this film. But for some reason, I mean, with war, I don't mind it too much. Obviously, we'll get to war next time. But the action here is brilliantly done.
Back.
Yeah.
This action scene is great. I agree with you. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite scenes in the film.
That shot was brilliant. Cobra rides through the fire. Uh-oh. We've even got a tank as well. Oh. You there, Jack? what's great about this film comparison to Ross are so much higher stakes, but you feel it more, like you feel the stakes more with Dawn, and he as well. There's tension and stakes, and I love how we see. We find obviously we return to Caesar, who thankfully he was only shot towards the shoulder, but still discover. To describe this film as poignant. It's a very film in that respect. My son. I love that expression on his face. He's about his family. And I mean, just the way that the emotions transcend through the motion capture is really quite impressive. Even to this day, I still can't believe how good it it really is a technical marvel. All three of these Planet of the Apes films have been a very good technical achievement as well. Don't know what's happened to Jack. He's not responding. Hey. Oh. How it ends up being the heel Caesar in the end. Okay, so Jack's gone. There's also Cobra wants Ash secure, but obviously, you know, Cobra is going against every philosophy stands for. Caesar wouldn't want it. Yeah. Cobra is defying the laws of their society.
Hey. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Hey. What scene you on?
When kills Ash.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that is the. I mean, what a bastard! I mean, why would you want this arsehole as your leader?
Well, they never asked for it.
By the way, I was gonna say like that action scene. I agree with you. It's just amazing. I love it. One of my favorite sequences of the film.
Yes. Just got to quickly go to the toilet, so carry on talking. I'll be right back.
I mean, I think Matt Reeves' direction is just fabulous. I really think you can tell he put so much effort and consideration into this film. I mean, this could have been in like a really just one of the mills sequel, like just rehashing the first film, but Dawn really, I think, amps up the stakes a lot, and I love this just the whole look of the film, and I think Caesar, like that scene was great where he's like, Ape did this, and when they find out that he's still alive, that's really good. Just the whole action scene with the apes and the humans fighting and the fire and all that, I just think that's brilliant. And you really see how Koba becomes a monster. I mean, you already knew in the first film that he was a bad egg, but really here you get to see how much more of a, you know, bad person he becomes. I also have to say I love this scene. This scene's great, like where they happen to come across the old house where Caesar used to live with James Franco's character. That's great. And of course they give him the picture, which is a very dramatic scene.
It's not safe. It's the only one that can stop this.
I mean, this is definitely one of the best, not just Planet of the Apes films, but sci-fi films.
You will know life in cage. All humans out there, go find
I mean, this is a really dramatic moment, like, putting all the humans in cages. I just think it's really dark. And Maurice as well, like. I mean, sorry if I'm not talking as much. It's just I'm eating at the same time as watching this. He's back! We just went to the scene like where we find Maurice is imprisoned or whatever.
In the school bus.
Yeah. Yeah. School bus. Well, this time it's good.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Koba is just completely and utterly ruthless.
Oh, yeah.
This action scene, I have to say, is really good.
And when Malcolm is trying to get out of the building.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic that Dawn has more action than War. It's not criticism,
Yeah.
but it's just something that's like kind of odd. You think fiction, but well, only at the beginning and the end.
I know someone who reviewed War said that they didn't like the film, or well, not that they didn't like the film, but they just didn't like false advertising.
Yeah, I
And they
can't.
thought yeah.
Calling it War would have been like for them incorrect.
Yeah. Shit. Is he gonna shoot Jason Clarke? Malcolm?
No, he isn't. I don't think he would be.
I mean, what Koba's done is just, reprehensible.
Yeah, he's ruined everybody's lives.
I mean, if I were the apes, I would try to overthrow him as soon as he started killing other apes. You know, he
Yeah.
broke Caesar's rules, you know.
Yeah. It's make or break time.
I was saying I like the fact that they brought back the house from the first film.
Yeah, James Franco's house. I'm assuming he just died in the 10 years that have passed. He's just died. Died.
Yeah. I'm assuming he got the virus from his dad.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's interesting that the apes get the virus, but they're fine. But with humans, it kills them.
Yeah, I mean slowly and regressively, but this whole interesting is that the apes seem to evolve from it, yet the humans evolve.
Mm.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is Cobra.
Yeah.
It's when his son Dick Cobra really is.
Yeah.
And I think the final fight between Caesar and Cobra is brilliant. When we get to it, it's bloody epic.
I have to say the woman with the low-cut shirt's quite sexy.
Carrie Russell. Fucking go ape for her.
Daddy, were you in the Planet of the Apes movies?
Oh, penis. Stop!
The person who did that drawing was either it's quite good actually.
Yeah, he's a good artist. Huh. Well, imagine if she said, the blood, it won't go away.
God. Yeah.
Do excuse me.
The Apes trilogy, Rise and Dawn and War were like a good CPR after the Tim Burton shit fest.
Chimp fest.
God.
Yeah. The Tim Burton one.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Fucking God, it was so bad. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. My mum actually likes the Tim Burton one, but when she was talking about the ending, I said Abraham Lincoln, like referring to your joking. And she laughed. She thought it was quite funny.
Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, I don't think I'm the first person to have made that joke, but yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, Jurassic World 2 this year.
Yeah, I'll go and see it, but I'm not really fussed about it. The trailer doesn't really wow me.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it took them this long to make a sequel. 4 years after the last film.
Really?
It's actually quite long. Oh, 3 or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just going to be more.
I thought. Yeah, dinosaurs escaping, and I really think they should just call it a day in Jurassic Park. But of course, money.
The sad thing is, yeah, as soon as you say that, they'll be begging for more money. So there's no point in saying to anything, let's call it a day, because it just won't happen.
Cha-ching!
They love them. They love their wallets too much.
Yes. Unlike their Wallaces. Crack and cheese, Gromit. Yeah. This is a very intense scene where saying, oh yeah, Koba killed Ash.
It's a nice moment as well for Caesar and his son to kind of reunite, because his son has kind of been going off him for most of the film. Now he realized what he was doing was right and Koba was wrong.
Yeah. Koba was like fucking. Oh god, G.I. Joe, Rise of the Cobra.
Rise of the Cobra. Oh wow! Didn't realize his son had a voice.
Son, we fuck penis, Branston.
Maurice, get fucked.
Yeah. We have about like 30 minutes left.
Yeah, it's moved pretty well.
Yeah, it's paced pretty damn well. Maurice just kind of makes me laugh with his face, like the pancake face.
The window.
Yeah. I mean, Caesar, that's a good thing about Caesar is that he's compassionate. I mean, he is a strong leader, but, he is a reasonable leader as well. He's not hot-headed or angry or full of, like Koba.
Yeah, he's a human in an ape's body. That's the analogy that, and he's exactly right, because if he hadn't have been raised by a human, he probably wouldn't have the compassion that he does.
Yeah. School bus!
The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
I mean, I just love, the fact that this film is darker, because I think if, it didn't get darker with Dawn, then maybe it wouldn't have been as good as Rise, but it managed to surpass that, which was just great.
And plus, with the it needs to have evolved tonally, and making it darker was probably the best way they could have done that. And then War, they took it even further.
Yeah.
They're literally in war.
They know Caesar's weak spots.
Waistline. I was going to say what?
And I said they know Caesar's weak spots.
Oh, right. Oh, do they know Caesar's waistline? Oh, my goodness.
Oh god, could you imagine Caesar like advertising Calvin Klein underpants?
Oh. Tight fit. You know, if they re-release films, I would go and see them in cinemas.
Yeah, I would definitely rewatch the whole trilogy if they re-release them.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah. I'm surprised the camera would still work after 10 years of it like being left there.
It was still plugged in. Plus, usually cameras have like reserve power at least for like a couple of minutes. So,
Yeah.
Or they found the camera and just charged it, while they were there.
Yeah. I wonder what year Dawn takes place in. Like, is it 2014 or whatever? Or like a little bit in the future or a little bit in the past, or
They never actually specify the year.
yeah.
Oh,
I think this is a really touching moment.
Mrs. Good
Yeah.
man like you. And he sat by the
I
window.
mean, look at the emotion on. Yeah, look at the emotion on his face. Like,
It's real. This is. You feel like this guy is literally a real walking ape.
Andy Serkis is real walking ape.
It's flawlessly, and how they managed to top it for War as well was beyond me.
Yeah, Star Trek Beyond You.
Yeah, who was that?
Yes, I think it's just you could definitely feel the emotion so much in this film because it really is Caesar's story. The whole trilogy is his story. You know how he starts out as this, this ape that doesn't really, doesn't really have any other contacts with apes, and then
Yeah,
by the end of Rise, he becomes this
a
strong
leader.
leader. And then yeah, and then in the second film, you see his character progress in the fact that he kind of realizes that apes are flawed. And then in the third one, you see him become full of anger and hatred towards humans because of what they did to his family and him trying to overcome that.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah. He's grief stricken and he kind of abandons all of his ideals and his philosophies, and his emotion overtakes him, and his lust for revenge kind of overtakes him. And obviously, they confront him on that. They say, he's becoming his worst enemy, or his previous worst enemy.
yeah, yeah, Koba, yeah. I mean, I remember there were rumors going around at the time. Louis was telling me that they were considering bringing Koba back for war, and I'm glad he didn't return because he quite clearly dies at the end of Dawn.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
in a way, he does return, but not physically, only like in Caesar's mental.
yeah, flashbacks, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, like when he's being haunted by him. I thought that was clever. That was a nice way to bring him back, but without overusing him.
yeah. I mean, seeing Rise and then what was your reaction to seeing Dawn? Like when you first saw the trailers, did you think it wasn't going to be as good as Rise, or?
Well, I thought the trailer was good, but I was just worried because Rupert Wyatt wasn't directing it. But the reviews came out. I took me a while to see it, and people were like, "Oh wow, it's amazing! It's so good! It's like the best Apes film." I'm like, "Really? Is it that good?" And I saw it, and I was like, "They were right. It really is that good." But
Yeah,
the trailer for really got me hooked. The second trailer for War was epic, and I was like, "Wow, I'm going to be brilliant," and it was so good. Like each of these films has never disappointed us.
yeah. I mean, what was great? I think what was great about Dawn as well was that the fact that my dad and the rest of my family really enjoyed it. I mean, my dad and my mum aren't really Planet of the Apes fans. I mean, they kind of think the old series, apart from the first film, they kind of think the original series of Planet of the Apes films are quite crap. And like going into it, I didn't expect much because I wasn't a fan of the Apes films, apart from the first one, which I saw previously, but I wasn't really into it. But then I saw Dawn, and I was blown away. And even my dad was like blown away. He loved Dawn, and even my mum, who really wasn't a fan of Planet of the Apes, even she saw Dawn, and she was blown away by that as well. Like,
Oh wow!
yeah.
And did your brother
So
like
I mean,
it as well?
yeah, he thought it was great too, and he loved War as well. Like, I think it's just it's just a testament to how good Matt Reeves is as a storyteller and a filmmaker that he engaged so many people with this film, and to make a sequel to Rise, Rise is already a pretty damn good film, and to make a sequel that's just as good and if not better than Rise is just it's fantastic. I think it's great. I mean, and then he topped it again with War, which was just like amazing. Um,
Yeah, for me, it's a masterpiece, and it's one of my favorite films. War for the Planet of the
yeah,
Apes, so good. I don't know how amazing it is. Truly brilliant. Oh,
yeah. I had worries about War because not because Matt Reeves is a bad director, of course not. Just because Dawn was so good, I was kind of worried that War wasn't going to be as good, but it was even better, and like I was so flabbergasted by how good it was. Like,
yeah, it was a series to end. Well, at least for that trilogy to end, and Caesar's story finally came to a head, and it really was. It was tragic. It was a tragic so well. Like, the emotional moments were so good. I nearly cried during War. It was that.
yeah, this scene's really intense with Jason Clarke's character where he's pointing the gun at Gary Oldman because Gary Oldman wants to blow the apes up, but he's trying to stall. Like, he's trying to get the apes time so they can, so Caesar can confront Koba and sort of put the whole thing to bed.
Yeah, and now we finally get the conclusion, the climax, when Caesar and Koba fight it out once again.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, fight!
Caesar has no place here.
Did we the digital do the CGI for Planet of the Apes, or was that someone else?
They did, yeah. But
yeah.
War.
War.
Together, strong.
I mean, Koba is just a, complete another psychopath. I mean, Caesar, he has to, he kills when he has to, but he's not a psycho like Koba. Like, Koba just, the only one he cares about really is himself.
Yeah. I mean, Caesar doesn't want to kill him, but, I mean, because obviously it goes against what he stands for, but he knows that Koba's driven with hate. There's no redeeming him. He says, you're not ape. You're not one of us because of what you've done. And I think, that obviously, I think that's justifiable that Caesar kills him, or lets him to his death. But obviously, the repercussions of that will happen in war. He will, Koba will return in a manner of speaking, in war.
Well, to kind of haunt him in flashback.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah,
I'm glad Koba gets his comeuppance, because he's just a complete and utter psychopath, and he's just I mean, he only really cares about himself. He doesn't even care about the other apes. Like, all he wants is power, unlike Caesar, who actually cares for the apes and he cares for the humans as well. Like, Koba just wants to destroy anything that gets in his way. Like, even if the apes agree with him, he'd probably kill them as well.
Dun, dun, dun. Great music by Michael Giacchino here. Dun, dun.
Yeah.
I think the score is better here, actually, than Rise. Not that the Rise score was bad, but this is so much more tense.
Yeah. I think War has the best soundtrack, though. The doom, 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 doom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nova's theme. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Brother.
Michael Giacchino, he's a great composer.
He's the next John Williams. I'm putting my bet on it. He gets so much work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of glad he did this soundtrack rather than Hans Zimmer. I mean, don't get me wrong, Hans Zimmer is another good composer, but a lot of his soundtracks kind of have that sort of like thing.
He used a lot of the same chord.
Yeah.
This is such a good fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's I guess you could say it's like WWE with apes or something. Extreme WWE with apes.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell or something.
And it's strong.
I mean, I think Louis agrees with us as well. Like, I think he thinks that with each Planet of the Apes film in the trilogy, each one is better.
Yeah. I mean, some people have said the Colonel was a bit in the Donald Trump. Would you agree with that?
Well, I don't think Donald Trump kills people like the Colonel, but
oh no, I mean, in the sense of like building the wall and
yeah, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
we can talk more about the Colonel, but yeah.
So who's Hillary Clinton? Is that Caesar's wife?
God, well, no, yeah, because she's dead.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say, like, if the general's Donald. Actually, I guess you could say if the colonel's Donald Trump, then the fact that he kills Caesar's wife is kind of like the way he slaughtered Hillary at the election in terms of the results or whatever. I don't know.
I feel sorry for Gary Oldman's actor that he actually felt like he had to blow himself up But he had nothing else to live for. He just wanted to see his family. So
Yeah. For a minute, I thought you meant like I feel sorry for Gary Oldman that he had to blow himself up. Like,
no, I meant his character. But yeah, take it. And this is
yeah,
it.
I mean that scene where they're fighting with the chains, like, kind of reminds me of like Revenge of the Sith, where like Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting, like swinging on the vines, the lightsaber and Mustafar.
Oh, yeah, it is a bit like that. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I think Koba's death is really good. Caesar doesn't like maliciously kill him, but he lets him fall, and I think that's
Yeah.
that was the right way to go. And I'm so glad that Koba.
I mean, he doesn't kill him; he just lets him die.
Yeah.
Like,
Look, he's killing apes. Like Caesar can't have that.
yeah. Oh God, yeah.
And he just
I mean,
doesn't
you
stop.
just see how much of a coward he is as well, that he hides behind a gun.
I mean, nobody wants to follow him.
Yeah. I mean, he is just, I mean, could you imagine if Caesar actually did die and he was the one who led the apes? I mean, he would absolutely destroy the apes. He would turn them into, a complete another, like train wreck. He would,
he would
he'd
have
probably kill all the apes.
You know what he would have done? Koba would have sent all of the apes to the colonel.
Yeah. No, I think if Koba like lived and Caesar, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is the scene here where we got him. He's basically, he wants Caesar to help him, and then Caesar just basically lets him fall, which I mean, Koba, if Caesar did help him up, Koba would probably just push him over. He would just, yeah.
Ape.
The way he just pulls him up and then he drops him. Like, he's like, bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. He had to do it for the greater good.
Yes. Goodbye, you fucking monkey. Good fucking minutes.
I mean, I think Caesar's never killed before, has he?
No, I don't think so. Maybe he has, but I think
Unless
that's the first time he's killed.
Unless you want to count Tom Felton's character in Rise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the first time he's killed an ape, and yeah, I guess that is the first time he has killed. I mean, he had to do it. I mean, Koba was just, he would just destroyed everything. He would destroyed the apes. He would destroyed the humans as well. He would just like, yes.
Yeah, and now they have to leave. They have to
watching this in the. Sorry.
I was saying now they have to leave. They have to get out before more humans come and take them.
Yeah, I mean, just watching this in the cinema with my dad and my brother, I was just absolutely blown away by how good this film was. I mean, this film won me over to the Planet of the Apes franchise. I mean, after this, I bought the box set and I watched all the films, like all the original films, and
you had more liking for them, would you say?
Yeah, I definitely had a lot more appreciation for the franchise after I watched Dawn. I mean, to be honest, I think the new trilogy is better than the original series, but I still like the original series. Like, I think the original Planet of the Apes is great. Beneath is weird, but still, I think, enjoyable.
Yeah.
Escape, I think, is good.
Yeah.
Conquest isn't great, to be honest. Yeah, and Battle's just crap. And that's for the Tim Burton film. Well, the less said about that, the better.
Yeah. Well, nothing needs saying. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I love the ending. The ending's very moving. How he calls him friend. He's like, you're my friend, you know, but I have to go now. I can't stay here with you, otherwise we'll both be killed.
No, it's interesting as well the way he talks to him. Like he says to him, basically, "Yeah, this war's still gonna happen." Basically, Koba was the one who escalated this all, and it's going to be pretty much impossible now for Caesar to reverse it all.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the arsehole.
Oh, and the music.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they should. I mean, I don't know, but like maybe Caesar should have like had a human, ape alliance or something like that. Yeah. No, I really like the scene as well, like where he's holding his head against Jason Clarke, like he's a friend, like he's a fellow ape, I guess you could say. Or
he's his friend, and he wishes him well, but he can't see him anymore. It's just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what happened to his character. I mean, did he die in war, or did he go on living? Or I mean, we don't know.
I mean, I would assume he died. I mean, the war is 2 years after this. There's been.
Yeah, I love the way as well that Matt Reeves like brought in the post-apocalyptic look of this, because they have all these rundown cities and towns and all. I think that looks really great. I love this ending where he sort of embraces his wife with his kid, and
with his tribe of apes, and the music is so heroic for him.
Yeah. So does Caesar have two sons then?
Yeah, he has Blue Eyes and Cornelius, and obviously Blue Eyes and his wife in the war, and Cornelius survives.
Yeah. No, I mean
Malcolm's gone.
Yeah, I mean you feel bad for Caesar because he basically his whole world's ripped apart in the next film, and you can understand his sort of thirst for revenge. He wants blood because of what happened to his family, but I think the ending to this is great. I mean, Matt Reeves. I mean, you really outdid yourself with this. It's just a great movie.
Absolutely,
it's just a great film. Yeah,
these are the films.
Yeah, I agree.
That we should get nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, this is the level of filmmaking we should aspire to now.
And this final,
I agree with you. I think the film's a masterpiece. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'll say the final shot is kind of opening in on his face, whereas before we're pulling out, and we're seeing a much more of a different expression.
Yeah, I love this final shot though. The way like it closes on a close up of his eyes, like the start of the film. Start with a close up of his eyes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was done.
Well done. Bravo.
Woohoo!
Not a sarcastic clap. Good job.
Yeah.
That was just stunning. I mean, it was even better than Rise, and wow. It really
agree.
is.
I loved it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great film. I mean, this is definitely, I'd say, probably my second favorite of the series, and it's I mean, it takes everything that was great about Rise and improves upon it. The tone's darker, the story's more intense. The characters really go on a journey in this, like especially Caesar and some of the human characters. And for me, I agree with you. I think it's a masterpiece. I mean, this is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I mean, and I don't say that like, lightly. I mean, it really does. It deserves all the praise that it gets. I mean, an easy 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Like, I mean, I just remember watching this 3 years ago, like being absolutely blown away by it in the cinema. And this is the film that really got me into the franchise. And I mean, I love it. I mean, I think it's a great movie. I think it's great.
Yeah, I can easily. It's such a great study, and it's a great continuation. It sets up the war brilliantly, Like it shows you the start of the war that Koba initiates, and it's just its own. Like you can a great experience, but obviously it's so there's the story is still in progression by the end of the film.
Yeah.
War, I think, to a whole new level. I mean, and also great music score by Michael Giacchino, one of the best scores he's ever done. Slightly better.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's just such a good film, and it's just such a breath of fresh air after all the shitty Ape sequels we had with the original series, like Battle and all that, and Conquest. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting how you could go from something so shit as Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes and Battle of the Planet of the Apes to something so good as Dawn and War. Like, it really shows a difference in quality the series has. You know, like you can go from a 0 out of 10, with Tim Burton to 10 out of 10 with Dawn and and even Rise or whatever.
I mean, I one of the best cinematic trilogies that ever made. Like, there's just so much good in here. These films so good. It's in a way it's still kind of a mystery to me, but I also know how they've been making them. But it still is a mystery as to how they pulled this off, all three of them, and they are better than the original series, and that's not something you see every day.
Yeah. I mean, particularly when the first original Planet of the Apes film was so iconic, the fact that these films are actually better than that film is really just amazing, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, yeah, War is just incredible. I love War. I mean, I can't wait to do a commentary on that with you. Like, I'll be buying a Blu-ray hopefully next week, so we can maybe do it in the next couple of weeks or whatever. If you're free, we can do a commentary on War for the Planet of the Apes.
Free for War for the bet.
Yes.
Free for that film. I've it's just brilliant. I mean, it isn't the war movie I initially expected to bother me. I mean, but Dawn.
Oh God, could you imagine War for the Planet of the Apes, like Saving Private Koba or something like that?
God. Saving Private Preacher. Saving the Colonel. That's the thing. Like, the Colonel and Cobra are both very good villains, but they're both own personal story and motivations, and you kind of feel for the guy, but also he's an extremist. Cobra's an extremist, but he's also some kind of personal background. I think the study on characters here and the development of the characters is perfect in this trilogy.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the Colonel killed his own son as well, it's like, God's sake. Like...
As an act of survival, I mean, and then the Colonel kills himself because he can't bear to live with himself as a, primitive, should we say.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting as well, Caesar doesn't kill the Colonel, even though he has every right to kill the Colonel, and even though he feels so much hatred towards him for what he did to his family, but in the end, he just lets the Colonel kill himself.
Yeah. To do. Oh, and it's hearing this music. Oh, I never get Chino's score he brought to Planet of the Apes for both the films. Is so emotional, literally. So emotional.
I mean, God, look at the credits here. There's like 5 rows of credits of just people who've worked on this film. Yeah. My God, there's like probably hundreds of thousands of people who worked on this or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the fact they came out every 3 years as well was still quite amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a cinematic landmark, I think, these 3 films. I mean, watching Dawn and then watching War, we were definitely watching a cinematic landmark, in my opinion, in terms of trilogies. Like, I mean, it's up there, definitely up there with Lord of the Rings and the original Star Wars trilogy and the Godfather trilogy and
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there are other great trilogies out there too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I were to do a top
Cars
10 movie
trilogy?
trilogies, this would definitely be up there.
What about the Cars trilogy?
No.
I mean, it's funny. You have three great films in a trilogy, like the Planet of the Apes trilogy, and then you have three shit films, like the 50 Shades trilogy.
Yeah. I don't really expect to review those films, at least not anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why Harry watched those films, to be honest, but fair enough.
He only did it for his channel just to review them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not touching that trilogy of a barge pole.
No.
I have no interest in that whatsoever.
I love this music. I mean, they use in War when Caesar is, or at least they use.
Yeah. It really is a great film.
Yeah. The fourth one, which is entirely possible. It better be bloody good.
Yeah.
After these three films, they're tough act to follow. I mean, if Matt Reeves does it, I'll be confident that the fourth one could be good.
Yeah, I just think they should leave them as a trilogy. You know, Caesar's dead, his story's done. Just leave it as that, because I mean, I think if you make a fourth one, you could potentially spoil it. Like, I mean, it would be nice to see how the story, you know, follows on from that. But I just think end it with war because you know Caesar's dead now, and I mean, it kind of like war feels like a natural ending of the trilogy. Like it just feels like a conclusive end to the to the series of the new series of Planet of the Apes films.
Yeah. And with that said, that pretty much brings of this commentary. Yeah, it's been great fun. Once again, shame about the connection problems, but a great time.
I mean, we only had two or three. Well, we had two or three connection issues, but for the most part, I've been here commenting on it. So,
yeah.
Well,
yeah. Apologize to the audience, but
my Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi is getting fixed tomorrow, so there should be no connection problems from now on. Well, for the most part, anyway. So, yeah.
Hopefully, but yeah. That's hey Jack. Before we close off,
no.
I'll take that. Yeah, I mean, just on a final note, just yeah, fantastic work from Matt Reeves and co. You know, they've done a great job with this trilogy. I mean, this Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. You will not be disappointed. It's not for the faint-hearted or the light-hearted, but it's and then
don't expect the Tim Burton fast.
Oh yeah, no, it's way better than that. I mean, I a perfect 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for well.
Oh yeah. Now we move on to War for the Planet of the Apes, which is the third and final film of the trilogy, released in 2017, directed by Matt. Get to that film at some stage, but thank you guys for watching and listening with this commentary. A commentary on Rise if you want to hear our thoughts on that. But until then, stay tuned for War for the Planet of the Apes. Yeah. Okay. So, have a good night, guys. Take care.